And Brother Ted, Haggard, I remember the story with Jesus and the Pharisees and the woman who was caught in adultery. And I'm very mindful of the idea that people talk about judging. And I don't intend to judge you and say whether you're going to heaven or hell. That is judging. But when Jesus said that he didn't judge the woman that they said was caught in adultery, the whole scenario was this. They were trying to trap Jesus, whether he had said forgive her or condemn her. Anyway, you would have lost. So he said, start writing the sins, and they ran away. And my understanding is that many of the people who accused her right there, they were the ones that turned her out. Some of them had sex with her and so on, but they just used her to trap Jesus. So that was the point with that, because he has said already what going to be the criteria for getting into kingdom and staying out. So if you see somebody's doing what would get them out, still I don't think it's my prerogative to say, hey, you're going to hell, because the person could change down the road and you'll just look stupid. And this is why also God's leaving judging to the angels, because they're in heaven and they know the whole deal. But in the highest point and of Pastor Ted Haggard's life, when he was winning souls and very calling people to tears and calling them to the altar to give the heart to the Lord, and when he had connections with the White House as a big influential religious leader, he was screwing with men and doing drugs. So what should I say? I don't think he's qualified to be a preacher. I've been to college with many of these theologians, and there's something. Some of them would kill you, they'll poison you. Some of them, like to womanize and all that. And hey, if you like those things, the ministry is not for you. The ministry, I think God calls people from before they were born. There was one guy in my college who said that, look at Paul. Paul was killing people, and then he became a great man of God, and he hasn't gone to that extent yet, so he could be just as terrific. Jesus called Paul for real, we know that. Also, Paul was doing what God had asked him to do, but it's just that he took it personal and took it beyond the time that it was to be. The new message was that Christ, and accept this and to move on. So, but the bottom line is this, though, that he's so bold-faced to come and say that he's going to start a church, like if it's in his prerogative. I mean, what about the call of God? Would he say that God called him at this point to go back into ministry? Did he call him the first time? So as somebody said in the blog, that he missed the big bucks and he's just looking for another payday. I hope that basically he does not embarrass himself and others. Many times nature takes care of men like this. I don't know if individuals would remember Jimmy Swaggart and Baker. Who else? Yeah, they didn't go very far. They started back again, but it is just marginal. But this brother, I think that perhaps instead of going back into church, if he had a little thing there for drug addicts and gay folks, it would be, it would be maybe more popular than trying this Jesus thing. In fact, his wife is the one that I think is the saint in this whole thing. Now, if he had been, womanizing, and if he had been stealing the money, and that was his his fault, then I could have understood that, because a lot of times you get into relationships and the wife not cooperate, and he might be kinky, like a lot of sex and so on. I could understand that. And he greedy, like money, spending